Tonight the Bernabeu looks calm on the surface, but behind the scenes, Real Madrid is dealing with one of those rare but brutal compressions of bad luck that can reshape a month, an injury, a sending off, and a youth prospect suddenly out of reach. In barely a handful of minutes against Marseille, the club lost the man they had pinned a lot of hope on to steady their right flank when the new signing went down with a muscular problem and was forced off, and the veteran who came on in his place was later shown a straight red after an aggressive clash in the box. The combination isn't just two headlines stacked together. It leaves Xabi Alonso with a tactical headache and a question mark over a position that normally lives or dies by continuity. For a manager building a clear identity, continuity in full-back positions matters enormously because those players are the fuse that links midfield and attack. Losing the planned starter early in the game meant Alonso had to switch plans on the fly. When Dani Carvajal's confrontation with the keeper ended with a red card, Madrid were temporarily reduced and forced to reconfigure in real time. That instant pivot from a composed plan to improvisation is exactly how small cracks become bigger problems in the weeks that follow, because suspensions and injuries pile up across fixtures. Now add a further twist: the young right-back who looks like the most natural internal solution is not available to be drafted in. Jesus Fortier, a highly regarded 18-year-old from Castilla who many hoped would get a first-team chance at this precise moment, has been called up to Spain's U20 World Cup squad. A brilliant career development for him, but one that leaves the first team without that safety valve. Clubs at Real Madrid's level celebrate international recognition for their academy players, but they also feel the logistical pinch when those tournaments overlap with crucial domestic and European fixtures. The result is a short exposure on the flank. So what are the practical options available to Alonso now? The most realistic short-term fixes are internal reshuffles, a full-back switching sides, and a midfield player shifting wider or promoting another youth whose natural position differs slightly but who can be trusted to keep defensive discipline. Another path is to ask a more attack-minded player to sacrifice some forward license in exchange for defensive solidity. In extreme cases, clubs explore the market for emergency cover, but signing a right-back on short notice who can adapt to Real's tactical and tempo demands is not trivial. Whatever the route, the coach must balance short-term survival with long-term squad planning. This is not just about filling a number 2 on a team sheet. It's about ensuring the wide channel doesn't become a recurring fault-line opponent's target. Beyond the immediate fixtures, this episode underlines a lesson that has become almost a cliché in elite football, but remains painfully true. Depth equals resilience. Talent like Fortier's will return from international duty with experience and confidence, and that could accelerate his integration into the first team once the World Cup ends. Xabi Alonso's earlier decision to keep the youngster in the system and trust his potential now looks prophetic, even if the timing is awkward. When Fortier comes back, he may find the door to regular minutes more open than it seemed before. So while Madrid pay the price now, the club could profit later. Fans will want answers immediately and rightly expect transparency from the club on injury timelines and disciplinary outcomes. Will the red card be appealed? How long will the injured right-back be sidelined? Which formation will Alonso choose against the next big opponent? Those questions will dominate fan forums and pundit rooms because the upcoming fixtures in La Liga and in Europe do not pause for crises. This moment is a reminder that elite clubs must marry short-term crisis management with long-term talent development, and that sometimes the cost of doing both is temporary vulnerability. But it's also a story about opportunities. A teenager gets a World Cup call, a coach's depth plan is stress-tested, and the result could be a new chapter in a young player's career and a tactical evolution for the first team. If you're watching Madrid's next few lineups, pay attention to the right flank, because the solution they pick now will tell you a lot about how Alonso sees his squad, how the club values its youth pipeline, and whether this short-term shock becomes a strategic pivot or just a painful blip. The headlines will keep coming, but the choices made in the next couple of matches will decide whether this right-back Armageddon is a crisis or a catalyst.